Hi, my name is Najeeb Siddique. I'm a product line manager for Nokia's Network Services Platform, or NSP. In this video, I will demonstrate a working example of how organizations can use the NSP's new workflow automation engine to program day-to-day tasks, streamline processes, and ultimately simplify operations. Today, service rollout to end customers is an extremely high-touch process. It involves planning and coordination between multiple teams and user groups within an organization. Stepping through these processes could take hours or days in order to get a service activated for customers. Using NSP's workflow automation engine, each user group can program the tasks that fits within their scope of responsibilities. In this example, the planning and engineering teams can define the tasks and actions required to commission equipment for service use. Similarly, they can create templates for service deployment and define the SLA requirements required to pass a service test. When we moved for network operations, network operation teams on their end defined how a service will be activated, and once it's activated, what is the minimum set of monitoring that is enabled on this service for continued assurance. For the purpose of this demo, we have created a simple HTML web server page that can be used to trigger a workflow within NSP's workflow engine. NSP's Workflow Manager application provides a dashboard, monitoring, and programming capabilities for automating processes and tasks. In this example, we have programmed a workflow which consists of several tasks and actions required to automate a full service lifecycle. The Workflow Manager application can be used to edit this workflow, but also to visualize the logical operations and conditions that have been programmed by the users. To demonstrate this working example, we will use the HTML portal to create a service order request, and we will follow the request through the workflow automation, its status of each task, and ultimately the creation of a service once the tasks and execution status are completed. Using the HTML portal, the service operator can select and execute a task that's important to them at that moment. Here we will select a full service provisioning and test use case. And after integration with NSP's service fulfillment application, the service definition is abstracted to simply identifying the two endpoints of a point-to-point service. Here we have selected to create a point-to-point service between two sites, Vienna and Warsaw, with a maximum delay of 10,000 microseconds. When the service order request is triggered from the HTML page, we can follow the execution of each task in this process using the Workflow Manager application. Here we can see that a new workflow instance has been executed on the workflow management engine. And we drill in, we can see the live real-time status as each task is executed within NSP. The equipment commissioning workflows were successfully executed. Next, we move to deploying the E-line service. And once the service was deployed, we move to performing SLA tests. If the SLA tests are successful, then the service is set to admin state up. Looking at the state of this service, we can now navigate to the service fulfillment application and identify the deployment state for the newly created service. Here we can see that the service is successfully deployed in the network after the appropriate pre-deployment and post-deployment checks were automatically executed. You can extend the service automation process to handle fault and automatic resolution. In this example, the commissioning of equipment was successful and the service was successfully deployed. During the SLA check, we identified that the service did not meet the SLA requirements requested by the customer. At this time, alternative workflows can be executed to provide corrective actions. things like optimizing the actions such as optimizing the stateful PCE path of this service and retrying service deployment, creating new tunnels that are optimized and can meet the SLA requirements for this service. Or if these actions are not successful, we want to make sure that we can do a complete rollback of the service and not leave any partial remnants of the service behind in the network. Once a rollback is successful, a notification can be sent to the appropriate team, in this case the planning and engineering team, to debug and troubleshoot further with the service information. Automating service fulfillment can be extended using closed-loop assurance capabilities provided by NSP. In this example, once a service has been successfully deployed, the service provider may choose to monitor the service for a given period of time before it is enabled for customer use. NSP's workflow engine can listen into Kafka notifications coming in from the network. And if there are faults or events that impact the service, corrective actions can be taken to try to restore the service's health before it is activated for customer use. For this purpose, the corrective actions can include optimizing stateful PCE paths, setting a service to maintenance mode, and migrating the ports and endpoints of the service. And if these corrective actions fail, then the appropriate user group can be notified to debug and troubleshoot this operation. I just showed you a working example of how NSP's workflow automation engine can help program tasks and streamline processes to turn a high-touch operation such as service fulfillment and service provisioning to a single user task where fewer user groups need to be involved except to take corrective actions or debug, troubleshoot advanced issues in the network. Thank you for your attention.